Alright, we're going to start our overview of the front, and you can see all of the bracketry. And if you go back and look at the photographs, this was all covered in either rust, overspray, or just grime. There's the inner apron that was two pieces before. I have now bonded and reshaped. Move across. A bunch of these brackets were bent. I do not have the headlight bezels in place so you can see the mechanicals in the headlight. All the bushings have been replaced, the actuators, everything's been repaired on the headlight mechanism. Go down, the front suspension's been rebuilt, all new bushings. KYB gas adjust shocks, all new disc brakes, larger front sway bar, ball joints, everything's been replaced on the front suspension. The steering ram's been replaced. The inner and outer tie rod, the steering valve, all that's been replaced. We'll go in, the motor's been rebuilt. Oil pan straightened out. Headers have been coated with ceramic coating. Transmission's been rebuilt. Run new transmission cooler lines, all new brake lines, fuel lines are all stainless steel. And this is looking up at the bottom of the car. If you remember the floorboards, they had areas with damage. They've been repaired. And they've been sprayed with a really heavy undercoat. The toe boards were stripped and painted. There's the toe boards. And then those end pieces were stripped and painted. Everything was just rusty. You can go back through all the photos. New heater hoses. New exhaust. All new parking brake cables and springs. Alright, here we are under the car again. If you remember those seatbelt plates, they were all rusty. Those were removed, repaired, reinstalled. There's the drive shaft, new universal joints. The shield above that, transmission's been replaced, the heat shield. There's the other seat belt. If you go back and look at the photos, you remember this portion of the floor was a mess. This is the battery box. Excuse me. Yeah. And this was all raw fiberglass and disc out of shape. There's the frame with the new parking brake cables. Up inside the fender well. New rear sway bar. A new one-piece fiberglass rear spring. And the tubular control arms. Spare tire carrier's been painted. New exhaust. If you look up in there, you can see the new fuel tank. And the frame that was all rusty, now it's all been sandblasted and cleaned and painted. Definitely a lot nicer than when it left the factory in 1974. But it will also last a lot longer because everything's been coated. Let's see up in there, there's your new starter, new fuel pump. This is the new fuel line, or the transmission cooler lines. You can go back and look at the photos. They had them pieced together. There was a little segment holding them together of hose. Alright, this is the right inner fender well, and this is the one that had a big chunk missing out of it, and it didn't have any splash fender liners. And there's the inside where I bonded the two pieces together and then recut the hole the correct shape. This is the left front fender well. Alright, here's the bottom of the front bumper with the filler panel and the spoiler and all installed. The grills have been cleaned and painted. Just got to put the tag back on the front.